This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, as well as an option for the same for folks living in the Portland, Oregon area. And easewellness.com is there when you need hemp-derived CBD products delivered via the mail in 42 U.S. states. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Friday, June 7th, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 738 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. A proposed bill in the U.S. House of Representatives that would free up banks and financial institutions to work with state legal cannabis businesses has made some significant steps towards being put up for a vote by the entire House after it was advanced by two committees and placed on a legislative calendar. The so-called Safe Banking Act, which we've reported on lots before here on the Daily, currently has 206 co-sponsors signed on, nearly half of the entire House, and has backing from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. The proposed bill hasn't actually been given a date to be considered yet, but its inclusion on the House's union calendar signals the strong possibility. There's some nuance on this one, so I'd zip over to Kyle Yeager's story on Marijuana Moment for the full read. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com. Yesterday, health officials in New Mexico added a number of new medical marijuana qualifying conditions, most notably for opioid use disorder. The Associated Press is reporting that New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham campaigned on a promise to add opioid use to the list of qualifying conditions. And yesterday, the governor spoke out in favor of the new additions, saying, quote, "We need to explore and pursue every available means of responding to the health and wellness needs of our neighbors here in New Mexico. Compassion must guide our decision-making," unquote. Besides opioid use disorder, patients in New Mexico living with three kinds of neurological disorders, Alzheimer's and autism, may now qualify as patients. We wrap up this week's top news with an international acquisition, as Canadian company PharmaCielo just announced a deal to acquire Australian company Creso Pharma for $85 million. Or 122 million Australian dollars. Creso Pharma specializes in medical marijuana research and development and has facilities in Canada, Switzerland, Colombia, and Israel, with its products sold in a total of 13 countries. There's a bigger storyline of Canadian companies buying up other cannabis-related firms overseas, so this one fits squarely within that scope. New Cannabis Ventures has more numbers and details if you want them. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, as well as an option for the same for folks living in the Portland, Oregon area. And easewellness.com is there when you need hemp-derived CBD products delivered via the mail in 42 U.S. states. If you like getting legal cannabis products that are properly tested, packaged, and labeled, then you're going to love being a customer of Ease. Pop over to ease.com today to check out the latest daily deal, which gives you 25% off the cost of select items from Bloom Farms and Classics when you use the discount code VIBES, VIBES. That's ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E. Big thanks to everyone at Ease for the support that helps keep our news lights on. All right, time for the blitz. Marijuana Business Daily has some projected numbers for the overall size of the legal CBD market that predicts big things, with their latest hemp industry daily report pegging the 2023 CBD market at being worth $7 billion. So far this year, a total of $230 million has been raised as investment capital by hemp companies. You can click over to this one to dive into the full reports yourself. Just over a week ago, Colorado Governor Jared Polis signed a bill into law allowing public companies to invest into the state's legal cannabis industry. And on Wednesday, Colorado-based marijuana services and consulting firm Medicine Man Technologies announced that it was buying Los Sueños Farms, a 36-acre outdoor cannabis farm in Pueblo, Colorado that is considered to be the largest legal outdoor farm in the world, as well as Mesa Organics Limited, another Pueblo-based marijuana grower and processor. The binding deals won't actually go through until the new legislation signed by Governor Polis goes into effect on November 1st. Creso Capital Partners, an investment fund focused on legal cannabis, not to be confused with multi-state cannabis operator Cresco Labs, an entirely different corporation, just announced that it had closed on a $60 million fund. Cresco Capital Partners CEO Matt Hawkins said that his company's newest fund was oversubscribed by more than 21%. So far, Cresco Capital Partners has raised a total of $85 million and deployed $50 million of that into companies like MJ Freeway, Harborside, and Green Thumbs Industries. Transport Canada, a governmental agency in Canada that oversees, among other things, the nation's commercial airline industry, has decreed that airline pilots, flight crew, and mechanics are barred from using legal marijuana. The actual new policy stipulates that anyone working in those positions refrain from cannabis use for 28 days before working, which effectively means that they will be barred entirely from consuming, unless they save up to take a 29-day or longer break from work. The agency is claiming that the policy is aligned with science, but I think someone over there is confusing the length of time that it can take for THC metabolites to work through your system before you can pass a drug test and the actual physical effects felt by consuming cannabis. This is kind of ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, we have the United States Surgeon General repeating the tired trope of today's cannabis somehow being more dangerous just because of its higher THC content than the weed of yesteryear. U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams appeared on a Hill.tv show and said, quote, "The marijuana of even 10 years ago was less than 5% THC, which is the product that causes you to get high, which can cause addiction, which can cause problems," unquote. Just about all those things are not true. THC does get you high, but the rest of it, it's just wrong. The Surgeon General should know better, and if he doesn't have a good handle on the facts of the matter, he shouldn't really talk about it. That's a good general rule for life. A nurse in Michigan is suing the state because she said that the new restrictive rules for medical cannabis that recently went into effect have caused her to not be able to buy her preferred cannabis product. Sherry Hoover is 57 years old and fighting cancer and said that she has been unable to buy the particular kind of cannabis oil that serves her best for the last 3 weeks, thanks to more restrictive rules over testing and sourcing. Her lawsuit seeks to roll back those new rules so that better regulations can be written that don't negatively impact patient access. And finally for today, Nevada-based marijuana company Planet 13, best known for their Las Vegas 24-hour mega cannabis dispensary, is expanding into California with a $10 million acquisition of a dispensary located in the city of Santa Ana. The $10 million is split between $6 million in cash and the rest in Planet 13 stock. Planet 13 said that it will expand its new California dispensary to around 40,000 square feet, making it one of the larger in the state. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Guess who got a new joke book? Why did the lettuce win the race? Because she was ahead of lettuce. Thanks to our sponsor Ease and to our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible and those jokes possible. To join the lesser strengths of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Jay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.